Hello students, I am Sanjay Saini. I am back in front of you with the next lecture of moving charges and magnetism. In previous topics we have studied the motion of charged particle in combined electric and magnetic field, the force on a current carrying conductor when placed in uniform magnetic field, and today in this lecture we are going to study about the force between two parallel infinite long current carrying conductors. Dear students, if we have two wires and those are of infinite length and they are placed parallel to each other like we have seen in this figure. We can see in this figure there are two wires PQ and RS. These are of infinite length and these are placed parallel to each other and they are carrying current in same direction. I1 is the current in PQ wire and RS is in second wire RS, and they are placed parallel to each other. Then what happens? Dear students, because of magnetic effect of current, magnetic field is developed around both wires. Because of current I1, the magnetic field B1 is developed at a distance r from it. Means because of this wire PQ, a magnetic field B1 is developed around it. And the lines of magnetic fields, all of you know that the magnetic field lines are in the form of concentric loops and the direction can be found using right hand thumb rule. So let us assume that the magnetic field due to this wire PQ at a distance r is B1, and using right hand thumb rule we can see that the magnetic field is inward the plane of board, say it is inward, and the inward sign is represented by cross sign. Okay, so now this wire RS is placed in the magnetic field B1. So this wire RS is experiencing magnetic force due to magnetic field B1. So the magnetic force is given by BIL sin theta. All of you know that we have studied in earlier topics. This is BIL sin theta. So and this wire also RS wire. This wire also produces magnetic field around it, and that magnetic field is also in the form of concentric loops. So the magnetic field because of this wire RS at a distance r is say B2. B2 is magnetic field produced by wire RS at a distance r, small r. Okay, and the direction of magnetic field at this point is outward using right hand thumb rule. If we put the thumb in the direction of current, then the curled finger gives the direction of magnetic field lines. So here the magnetic field B2 is outward and here the magnetic field B1 is inward, because B1 is magnetic field due to PQ wire and B2 is magnetic field due to RS wire. Okay, so these are two magnetic fields, and these two magnetic fields B1 and B2 will definitely interact with each other, and because of their interaction both of these wires either attract each other or will repel each other. Let us see what are the forces on each wire. Suppose this wire PQ is experiencing a force F12. This is force F12 on wire PQ due to magnetic field of RS, and this wire RS is experiencing a force F21. I have shown the directions also, but soon we are going to see why this force F12 is towards wire RS and why this force F21 is towards wire PQ. So I have written some theory here. Let PQ and RS are two parallel wires carrying currents I1 and I2. I1 and I2 are currents in wire PQ and RS in same directions. Small r is separation between the wires. B1 is magnetic field at a distance small r due to wire PQ, and it is given by mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r. We have studied this earlier. And B2 is magnetic field at a distance r due to wire RS, and it is equal to mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi r. Now what is force on PQ wire? Force on L length of PQ wire. Force on L length of wire PQ due to magnetic field B2, because this wire PQ is placed in magnetic field BQ, therefore this will experience force due to magnetic field B2. So what is the force on L length of this wire PQ? We know that force is given by BIL sin theta. So what is magnetic field that causes the force? It is B2. I is the current in the wire, it is I1, L length and sin theta. And theta you can see it is 90 degree. Why it is 90 degree? Because IL is in upward direction, I is in upward direction and magnetic field is outward direction. So magnetic field is in this direction and IL is in upward direction, therefore these two are perpendicular to each other, therefore we have put this 90 degree here. Okay. Now putting, what is L? L is the length of this wire. Suppose this much is the length L. We assume that this is length L. So force on this length L of this wire, this is equal to BIL sin theta. B is the magnetic field in which it is placed, it is V2. I is the current in the wire, it is I1. L is the length of the wire. Yet the length of the wire is infinite, but we are not saying the total force on infinite length of the wire. We are saying, we are looking for the force on L length of the wire. Suppose this is length L of the wire, then force on this part of the wire is this much. So putting the value of B2 here, we have seen the expression, it is mu naught I2 divided by 2 pi r into I1 into L over sin 90. Sin 90 is 1. So it is mu naught I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r. So this is the force on wire PQ. Force on wire PQ. And what is its direction? Let us see what is the direction of the force. The direction of the force can be found using right hand thumb rule, like this, or right hand palm rule you can apply. So applying right hand palm rule to find the direction of force, first you keep the fingers of your right hand in the direction of IL, because the force in the vector form is given by this expression IL cross B. These are two vectors, one is IL vector and other is B vector. There are cross product of two vectors, first is IL vector and other is B vector. So applying right hand palm rule, you keep the fingers of right hand towards the first vector, means IL vector, and palm towards the second vector, that is B vector. So if we are looking for direction of force on PQ wire, then keep the fingers in the direction of current. Current is in upward direction, so I am keeping these fingers in upward direction, and palm in the direction of field, and the field is in outward direction, therefore I am keeping palm out in outward direction. So fingers in upward direction, direction of current, palm in the direction of magnetic field, then the stretched thumb gives the direction of force. So you can see that force is towards the second wire, force is towards right hand side. So this is the direction of force on wire PQ. It is rightward. So this force acts rightwards. Say the rightward direction is I cap. Then this force in vector form is given by F12 vector is equal to mu naught I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r into I cap. I cap means here it is rightward directions. Rightwards. Okay. Now let us see what is the force F21 on wire RS. We have seen the force on wire PQ. Similarly, you can see the force on length L of wire RS. Force on L length of wire RS due to magnetic field B1. Now, this wire is placed in the magnetic field B1. Therefore, it will experience magnetic force because of this magnetic field B1. Okay. So, the force on this wire RS is given by F21, and that is equal to, F21 is equal to BIL sin theta. The magnitude of the force is always given by BIL sin theta. So it is BIL sin theta. Theta is 90 degree, we will see. And what is B? While finding the force on this wire, the magnetic field B1 is active. So magnetic field is B1, and what is I? I is the current in this wire and I is I2. So it is B1 I2 L. Suppose this much is the length of the wire. This is the length of the wire L. So I am finding the force on this length, this L length of this wire RS. So this part of the wire is experiencing force due to magnetic field B1, and the current in wire itself is I2. Therefore I am writing this expression BIL sin theta. B is magnetic field B1, current is I2, and length is L, and theta is 90 degree. Why theta 90 degree? Because magnetic field is inward direction and current is in upward direction. Magnetic field is in inward direction and current is in upward direction. So angle between these two is 90 degree. You can see that angle is 90 degree. Therefore I have written sin 90 here. So putting the values, B1 is equal to mu naught I1 divided by 2 pi r, because this is magnetic field due to first wire. I2 length L sin 90 is 1. Therefore it is mu 1 I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r. This is force on second wire due to magnetic field of first wire. So let us now see what is the direction of force. Direction of this force F21. You can use right hand palm rule to find the direction. Again, stretch the fingers and thumb of your right hand. Keep the fingers in the direction of current. Keep the palm in the direction of magnetic field. So fingers in the direction of current in upward direction, palm in the direction of magnetic field. Magnetic field is inwards. Therefore, palm is pointing inwards. Then the thumb gives the direction of force. Where is the thumb pointing? Thumb is pointing towards left hand side. So the force on this wire F21 is in left side. Therefore it is leftwards. Suppose the leftward direction is given by minus I cap. Then what is the vector form of this force? This is equal to mu naught I1 I2 L divided by 2 pi r into I cap, and putting negative sign here. This is vector form. And now you can see that, you can watch the video again and you can rewind the video, and you can see that F12 and F21 are equal in magnitudes but opposite in direction. Therefore I am writing negative sign here. F12 and F21 are equal in magnitudes but opposite in directions. Therefore I have written F12 vector is equal to minus F21 vector. It means they obeys Newton's third law. Newton's third law of motion. So this is the derivation for force on length L of two parallel wires carrying current in same directions. Now let us see what happens if you want to find out force per unit length. You don't want to find out the force on L length of the wire, you want to find out the force on unit length of the wire. Means we are assuming that the length is 1 unit. So simply you write L equal to 1 meter, then you will get the force per unit length of the wire. Force per unit length of wire. Unit length means L is equal to 1 meter. Then the force per unit length will be equal to mu naught I1 I2 over 2 pi r Newton per meter. Why Newton per meter? Because it is not on total length, it is per meter on unit length. Then it will be mu naught I1 I2 2 pi r. Okay, then while solving numerical, if you want to find out the force on 5 meter length, you know the force per unit length, and you want to find out the force on 5 meter length, then you simply multiply this by length 5 meter, and then you will get the total force on 5 meter length, and it is going to be very easy. Okay, now let us see what happens if the directions of current are opposite. What happens if currents are in opposite direction? This is the case that currents are in same direction. Now if currents are in opposite directions, if the currents are in opposite direction, like this is the case, suppose this is wire PQ and the current is in upward direction, and this is wire RS placed parallel to each other, and current is flowing in downward direction. Now what happens? Students, if this current is in upward direction, then this current will produce an inward magnetic field on its right hand side. So here the magnetic field B1 is inwards, and now in this wire the current is in downward direction. Therefore it will also produce an inward magnetic field on its left hand side. Current is in downward direction, therefore the direction of magnetic field is given by curled fingers, and it is inward the plane of paper. plane of board. So here also the magnetic field is in inward direction, B2. Now both the magnetic fields are in the plane of the board, inward the plane of board, and small r is gap between the wires. Now what is the force on first wire, F12? Let us see the direction of force on first wire, F12. To find the force on this wire, we apply right hand palm rule. Keep the fingers in the direction of current, keep the palm in the direction of field. Fingers, current is in upward direction, therefore fingers are in upward direction. Magnetic field is in inward direction, therefore palm is pointing inwards. Then the stretched thumb, this thumb is giving the direction of force. The thumb is leftward direction, therefore the force F12 is acting leftwards. So this is the direction of force on wire PQ. Now let us see the force on wire RS. Again applying right hand palm rule, keep the fingers in the direction of current. Current is in downward direction. Keep the palm in the direction of field. Field is in inward direction. You can again apply. Fingers in the direction of current. Current is in downward direction. Palm points towards the magnetic field. Magnetic field is in inward direction. Then thumb gives the direction of force. Thumb is pointing towards right hand side. Therefore, this is the direction of force F21. So you can see that if the currents are in opposite directions, then the forces are also in opposite direction and they repel each other. So if the currents are in opposite direction, then wires repel each other, and if the currents are in same direction, then wire attract each other. Okay, so this is the case. Again, the direction of forces are opposite and magnitudes are same, therefore they obey Newton's third law. They attract if the currents are in in same direction, and they repel if the currents are in opposite direction. So this is the topic. Now we have one more thing, and that is very important. We can find the definition of 1 ampere. Definition of 1 ampere. Dear students, ampere is one of the 7 fundamental units in physics. There are 7 fundamental units. Those are meter, the unit of length; second, the unit of time; kilogram, the unit of mass; Kelvin, the unit of temperature; ampere, the unit of electric current; mole, the unit of quantity of matter; and candela, the unit of luminous intensity. These are 7 fundamental physical quantities, and I have told you the names of their fundamental units also. So ampere is one of the standard SI unit, and this is SI unit of fundamental physical quantity, electric current. So let us see what is the definition of this. What is the definition of 1 ampere using this expression? So if there are 2 wires and they are put parallel to each other and they are carrying the current I1 and I2, then force per unit length on these wires is given by this. Force per unit length of any wire of 2 wires is given by this expression. If we assume that force between 2 wires is equal to mu naught by 2 pi Newton per meter, if it is mu naught by 2 pi Newton per meter, and this comes out to be 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter. Suppose there are 2 wires infinite long, and force per unit length on the wires is given by this 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter, and separation between the wires is 1 meter. Suppose let this is the case. Separation between the wires is 1 meter and force per unit length on the wires is mu naught by 2 pi Newton per meter. Then what happens? Let us put these values here. And I1 and I2 are equal. I1 and I2 are equal. Then you will find that these I1 and I2 are equal to 1 ampere. If you have 2 parallel wires placed 1 meter apart carrying equal currents in them, then and the force between the wires is 2 into 10 raised to power minus 7 Newton per meter, then the equal current flowing in them will be 1 ampere. So from here you can see that if you put this mu naught by 2 pi here, mu naught by 2 pi, and here also mu naught by 2 pi, suppose I1 and I2 are equal, suppose these are I, then I square over 2 pi over R is also 1 meter, we have assumed that it is 1 meter. So mu naught by 2 pi cancel with mu naught by 2 pi, then from this expression I square is equal to 1, then I is equal to 1 ampere. So from this you can obtain the definition of 1 ampere. I am defining this. 1 ampere is the equal current flowing in two parallel wires separated by 1 meter distance, and they are attracting or repelling each other by a force mu naught by 2 pi Newton per meter. So this is the definition of 1 ampere using this expression. So this is very, very, very important topic, students. Now let us move to the next topic. Let us now move to the next topic, that is torque on a current carrying loop. In magnetic field. Torque on a current carrying loop in magnetic field. And we are assuming a rectangular loop. Current carrying loop, we are taking a rectangular loop, rectangular shaped loop. Okay. Suppose we have a rectangular loop like this. This is a rectangular loop, if you can see. This is in the form of a rectangle. Suppose this is P, this is Q, R, S, and this is carrying some current, and it is carrying current I in it. And if you place this loop in magnetic field, suppose here in this room we have magnetic field from this wire to this wire. Suppose this magnetic field is in rightward direction. And if you put this loop in magnetic field, then what happens to it? Dear students, we can assume that this loop is made up of 4 straight wires, PQ, QR, RS and SP. You can assume that this loop is made up of 4 straight wires, and each wire is placed in uniform magnetic field. Then each wire would experience magnetic force. Each wire would experience magnetic force. Then let us find out what is the total force on this loop, what is the effect of those forces, whether the loop start rotating or loop start displacing, translating. Let us see what happens. We have a rectangular loop placed in uniform magnetic field. So this is the magnetic field, rightward magnetic field we have applied. This is the uniform magnetic field in rightward direction, B. And we are placing a rectangular loop in this. I am not placing this loop exactly perpendicular to the lines and not placing this loop exactly parallel to the line. No. I am not taking these two special cases. These are the special cases. If I am putting like this, such that loop is exactly perpendicular to the lines, then the angle between normal of the loop and magnetic field will be 0 degree. And if I am putting in this situation such that magnetic field is parallel to the loop, then in that case the angle between normal of the loop and magnetic field will be 90 degree. So these are going to be special cases. We will discuss these in special cases. I am taking a general case in which loop is placed at some angle. Say in this situation the loop is placed and magnetic field is in this direction, normal is in this direction, and there is some angle between normal and magnetic field. Say this is the normal of magnetic field, means a line perpendicular to the loop. This is normal and this is magnetic field. So we have some angle between these two. You can see this is the normal of the loop, a line perpendicular to the loop, and this is magnetic field. This. So there is some angle in between these two. You can see there is some angle in between these two. Say this angle is theta. So I am putting this loop in such a way say this is the loop PQRS, PQRS, say this is the normal of the loop n cap, and this is the direction of magnetic field B. Angle between normal of the loop and magnetic field is B, theta. Theta is angle between the normal of the loop and magnetic field. Now let us see what is the direction of current. Suppose that the direction of current is anti-clockwise. This is the direction of current we have assumed, and anti-clockwise sense. Okay, the current is flowing in this way, anti-clockwise. This is the direction of current. Now let us see what is the force on all wires. We will see, suppose this is P, this is Q, this is R, and this is S. PQRS. Now let us see what is the force on PQ wire. Force on PQ wire. This is the force is given by BIL sin theta. Suppose this length of PQ is L and length of PS is, suppose B, small b. Small b, this is length small b, this length is small b, and this length is L. This is L length and this is width B. Okay, this is. So what is force on wire PQ? Suppose this force is F1 and this is given by BIL sin theta. B is magnetic field, I is length, current I is flowing, L is its length, and theta is 90 degree. You can see that PQ, this is P, this is Q. PQ is in downward direction, magnetic field is in rightward direction. Therefore the angle between PQ and magnetic field is 90 degree. So this is sin 90 here. So this is BIL. This is force F1. And what is the direction of this force? We will see later on the direction of this force. Now force on QR wire. Suppose this is F2, force on this QR wire. Okay, means this lowermost wire. This is P, this is Q. Let us see. This is P, this is Q. PQR. So this is QR wire. QR. Current is in this direction, magnetic field is in this direction. Current here, magnetic field here. There is some angle between length, current and magnetic field, and the angle is theta. So let us find what is the force on this. The force will be BIL sin theta. The force on this is equal to BIL. Length of this QR is small b. Its length is b. And sin theta. Let us see what is theta here. Dear students, theta is not theta here. Angle between current and magnetic field is not theta here. It is 90 minus theta. Because theta is the angle between normal of loop, this normal and magnetic field. This is theta. If this angle is theta, magnetic field and normal, then this angle will be 90 minus theta. This angle is 90 degree minus theta. And sin 90 minus theta, obviously it is cos theta. So this is BIB cos theta. This is force F2. Force on wire QR. Now let us see force on wire RS. What is the force on RS wire? This wire. Let us see in this. This is PQR. Now this is RS. And this is magnetic field. Current is in upward direction. Magnetic field is in rightward direction. The angle is 90 degree. You can see I am sliding the marker over the wire and you can see that the angle is 90 degree. So you apply BIL sin theta for this RS wire. B magnetic field, I current, length L, and sin theta. Theta is 90 degree. So the force is BIL. This is force on RS wire. Now again the force on SP wire. Force on SP wire. Again you apply BIL sin theta, but here length is B. Length of this wire is not L, it is B, and sin theta. Theta again it will be 90 minus theta, but this time it will be 90 plus theta. Because this is SP, magnetic field is in this direction, in rightward direction, and current is in this direction, current is current in this direction of pen and magnetic field is in this direction of marker, then what is the total angle in between these two? Total angle, you can see it is 90 plus something. So the total angle will be 90 plus theta. So the angle between these two is 90 plus theta. Magnetic field is in this direction, current is in this direction, and this angle is 90 plus theta. So let us put here, this is 90 plus theta, and sin 90 plus theta is cos theta. So this is BIB cos theta. This is force on wire SP. So we have seen forces on all the wires. Now let us see what are the directions of these forces. What is the direction of force PQ first? What is the direction of force PQ? To find the direction of force, you can apply a right hand palm rule. So the direction of current is in downward direction, magnetic field is in leftward direction, so you can see the force is outwards. Force is acting outwards. The current in downward direction, magnetic field in rightward direction, so the force is in outward direction. So this wire is experiencing a force in outward direction. Let us see in this loop. This is the situation like this. This is PQ, current in downward, magnetic field in that. So force is in outward direction, means force is acting towards this direction, outward means this wire is tending to move outward the plane of board in this direction. Then the force on wire just opposite to it, means this wire, the force opposite to PQ is RS. If the force on this wire is in outward direction, the force on this wire will be in inward direction, because they are carrying currents in opposite direction. So if force on this wire is in outward direction and force on this wire is in inward direction, then they would apply, they are in different planes. The force here on RS wire is in inward direction, force on this PQ wire is in outward direction. You can see they are in different planes. They are in different planes. So if they are in different planes, then they would tend to rotate the coil in this way, because this is in outward direction, this tends to move it in outward, and the force on this is in inward direction, this tends to move in inward direction. Therefore the net effect of these two forces is that they exert a torque on the coil, which start rotating the coil. Therefore the force on it is in outward direction, force on it is in inward direction. It is F1, it is F3, and they start rotating the coil like this. Okay, so we represent the direction of force. This is outward, the plane of board, and F3 inwards, the plane of board. Now let us see the directions of F2 and F4. What is the direction of force? QR, carrying current in this direction, magnetic field in that direction. So let us apply right hand palm rule, carrying current in this direction, magnetic field in that direction. So the force is in downward direction, means in the plane of loop, the force is acting in the plane of loop in downward direction. So force F2 is in the plane of loop in downward direction. It is downward in the plane of loop, and the force of F4 will be upward in the plane of loop. So these two forces, F2 is downward in the plane of loop, it tends to move the loop downward, and F4 is upward in the plane of loop. Therefore these two forces will cancel each other. Force F4 is acting upward, force F2 is acting downward. They cancel in pair because they are in same axis, in same direction. They don't produce any torque and they cancel in pair. So F2 cancel with F4. They do not produce rotating effect, they do not produce translatory effect, they cancel. So let us see what happens. F2 is equal and opposite to F4. F1 is equal and opposite to F3. So from this we can see F2 plus F4 is equal to 0. From this we can see F1 plus F3 is equal to 0. If we add these two expressions, we obtain F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 is equal to 0. It means that net force on the loop is 0. Net force on the loop is 0. It means the loop is not going anywhere. The loop, net force on the loop is 0. It states that there is no translatory motion of the loop. Loop cannot move in the direction magnetic field. Loop cannot move in any direction. It cannot displace from its position because net force on the loop is 0. Okay, net force is 0. Now let us see what is torque. F2 and F4 are equal and opposite in same plane. They don't produce torque. Equal and opposite in same plane, therefore they cannot produce torque. F2 is downward, F4 is upward, they cancel in pair, they don't produce rotational effect, therefore F2 and F4 don't produce torque. But F1 and F3 are equal and opposite in different planes. In different planes, they produce torque. They produce torque on loop. Therefore, the loop starts rotating because of this torque. So now let us see what is the torque, expression of torque here. Torque is force multiplied by perpendicular distance. Torque on loop. Torque is equal to force multiplied by perpendicular distance. Distance between forces. Now the force is because of F1 and F3. So you can use magnitude of either F1 or F3 because both the magnitudes are same. It is BIL. And what is perpendicular distance between F1 and F3? F1 is outward here, F3 is inward here. Now we want to find perpendicular distance. If you see this wire from top, suppose this wire is PQ, then force on this is in this direction, force on this is in this direction, means this is F1, this is F3. Then what is perpendicular distance between these forces? Perpendicular distance. This is the perpendicular distance. Say this perpendicular distance is small d. Now what is small d? This is width B of the wire and angle. Suppose this is normal of the loop. This is normal. This is magnetic field. Angle between normal and magnetic field is theta. If this is angle theta, then this is 90 minus theta. And if this is 90 minus theta, then this is theta. This is direction of magnetic field. This is the direction of normal. If this is angle theta, then this one is 90 minus theta. And if this is 90 minus theta, then this is theta. So this angle is theta. Now applying trigonometry ratio, you multiply and divide by b, then this d divided by b, what will be this? D divided by b. So this is perpendicular divided by hypotenuse. D is perpendicular for this angle and b is hypotenuse. Perpendicular over hypotenuse, this is equal to sine theta. Put the value of F1, it was BIL be sine theta. And what is length into breadth? Length into breadth, this is equal to area of the loop. This is length L, this is breadth B. If you multiply LB, then this is equal to area A of the loop. So this is the expression for torque on the current carrying loop when placed in magnetic field. So torque on the loop is given by BIA sine theta. B is magnetic field, I is the current, A is the area of the loop, and theta is the angle between normal of the loop and magnetic field. Now let us see what are the special cases. Let us see the special cases. The torque is given by BIA sin theta. Now case 1, if there are n turns in coil. If there are n turns, then the torque is given by n into BIA sin theta, because the total torque will be determined by number of turns multiplied by torque on each turn. It will be n BIA sin theta. Second case, if theta is 0 degree, theta 0 degree means normal of the loop and magnetic field are in same direction. Means this is the situation. Magnetic field is in this direction, normal is also in this direction. In that situation, the theta is 0 degree. If theta is 0 degree, then torque will be 0. Torque will be 0. Therefore, the loop will be in equilibrium. Because no net force on the loop is 0, net torque on the loop is 0, it means the loop is in equilibrium. Now, if theta is 90 degree, then sin 90 is 1. In that case, torque is maximum, and that will be equal to BIA. If theta is 90 degree, means this is the situation. Normal is in this direction. Magnetic field is in this direction. Magnetic field rightward. Normal in this direction. Therefore, angle is 90 degree. And if 90 degree is there, then sin 90 is 1. Therefore, the torque will be maximum, and it will be BIA. If there are n turns, then it will be NBIA, if n turns are there. Now, if theta is 180 degree, then again the torque is 0. If theta 180, then sin 180 is 0. So, these are the special cases. One more thing, students, we have another physical quantity. We have one more physical quantity known as magnetic dipole moment. We have this quantity, magnetic dipole moment of a loop. Magnetic dipole moment of a loop. Like we have electrical dipole moment of an electrical dipole. Similarly, we have magnetic dipole moment of a current carrying loop. Suppose this is a loop carrying current I, and area of this loop is A. Then we have magnetic dipole moment expressed by PM. PM means, P means magnetic dipole moment, M means magnetic, and it is equal to current multiplied by area. Current into area. So this is magnetic dipole moment. Magnetic dipole moment of a loop. It is always a vector quantity. Its SI unit will be ampere meter square. Ampere meter square, because current is expressed in ampere and area is in meter square. And its direction is represented by, is given by right hand thumb rule. Right hand thumb rule. You keep the curled finger in the direction of current. If current is in clockwise direction, then keep the fingers in the direction of current. Then thumb gives the direction of magnetic dipole moment. So magnetic dipole moment is in inward direction. If this is the loop and current is in clockwise direction, then magnetic dipole moment is inwards. And if the current is in anti-clockwise direction, then magnetic dipole moment is outwards. So magnetic dipole moment is a vector. Its direction is given by right hand thumb rule. If current is in clockwise direction, then magnetic dipole moment is inward. Current is in outward anti-clockwise direction, then magnetic dipole moment is outward. And if there are n turns, suppose there are n turns, then magnetic dipole moment will be n into current into area. If there are n turns, then this will be magnetic dipole moment. Okay. So why we studied this topic here? Because we have seen in the expression of torque that it is BIA sin theta. This is the expression of torque here. So we can write this I into A as magnetic dipole moment. This current into area can be written as magnetic dipole moment of the loop. Okay. Now we have two vectors, magnetic field magnetic dipole moment and sine theta. So if we see the torque in vector form, then it will be Pm cross B. It will be dipole moment cross product with magnetic field. This is the vector form of torque on a current carrying loop. Here the Pm is magnetic dipole moment and B is magnetic field. Like we have torque on electric dipole. Torque on electric dipole, it was P cross E. You can remember that torque on electric dipole, it was P cross E. P was electric dipole moment, E was electric field. And here the torque on magnetic dipole is given by, torque on loop is given by Pm cross B. Pm is magnetic dipole moment and B is magnetic field. So this is the topic. Okay students, we have one very important definition of this topic, that is moving coil galvanometer, and we will study that topic in our next lecture. Till then, stay home, stay safe. Thank you very much.